I have this 16-week training plan, it'll keep you excited. But after that, you'll again take a step back, relax. But at the same time, it's important to be in the sport, like what you said.
Exactly.
The 3K jog or the 5K jog that you're doing, you still come and be a part of the group. You need not have a goal all the time. You also have life.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. No, you can't say, okay, I did this, I did that. So I usually tell people to pick one good goal in a year. So usually the races are paced in such a way that, a lot of people say, I have a 10K goal, I have a half marathon goal, and I have a full marathon goal. I go tell them, Kipchoge has got only marathon goal. Okay, Mo Farah has only got 5,000 meters goal. Usain Bolt has only 100 meters goal. Okay, you're having too many goals. No, serious, amateurs have more goals.
Yeah.
Right. And then suddenly goal will change. That guy was being this. I said, Kipchoge is only focusing on himself. He doesn't talk about Bekele.
I am Baiki Venki, and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest, Shreyas Karnad, is a running coach. He was one of the first guests on the podcast. In fact, he was the third. In the third episode of podcast, he shared his endurance and weight loss journey of going from 120 kgs to 60 kgs and from 5-hour marathon to sub 3-hour marathon. It was a pretty inspiring episode. If you haven't heard or watched that episode, I would highly recommend you do that. I will include the link for that episode in the show notes. In this episode, we talked more about his coaching philosophy, which is much more than making a training plan. In fact, he says that coaching starts after the training plan is sent out. We went on to talk about various other aspects of training and coaching for endurance sports. I thoroughly enjoyed this chat. I hope you do too. With that, let us get into my conversation with Shreyas Karnad. Welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast, Shreyas. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Likewise, Venki. Very nice to be here. I think the last time we did was the virtual one. So it's the first time I'm getting a feel of this. So thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. Yeah, yours was the fifth episode.
Fifth episode, yeah.
It was when I started. It was all through Zoom, through that pandemic time. So it was all Zoom, and but over the years, I realized now after completing about 100 episodes, I realized that it's a lot. It makes a lot of difference sitting and face to face, and it makes a huge difference, not just in terms of quality but also in terms of we don't have to deal with the network issues and all that, so audio quality, video quality, and just interacting across a digital divide versus this makes a huge difference. So that's been my experience. Great. So great to have you.
So congratulations on crossing 100 plus podcasts. I think you've grown very organically. Just keep seeing the kind of guests that you've been getting. I think it's very interesting and very inspiring. I always get inspired by everyday people, in today's world where people who have similar challenges, when they do things, it's more inspiring than someone who's doing this full time, right? So thank you for bringing in a wide range of people, which is so inspiring, which helps us, stay grounded, yet, find that inspiration to chase our dreams and fulfill our potential. So thank you for bridging that, that knowledge gap and the inspirational gap that was always existing. So thanks.
Thank you. Kind words. So, Shreyas, let us talk about, now you have been in the space as a coach for a long time. But for those who haven't probably heard about your story, let us use maybe a few minutes to summarize your journey so far, how you started and how you got here.
Yeah. I've been running since 2009. I joined a local gym when I was about 120 kgs. That's when I started running. About 2009 to 2022, about 13-14 years of running, and I've been coaching since 2000. 15, 16 onwards. So about 6-7 years of coaching, and coached over but close to about 1,000 people in various formats through workshops and through personal training and through group coaching. So that's been in a nutshell. And I mean, I always wanted to be the coach that I always had. That was my motto, and that's still my motto, right? And that is what I'm even now constantly working on, refining myself to be that person where I always wanted to work with. It's been a great journey. Starting in 2009, there was not much of internet or the know-how about the sport, so we learned through a lot of trial and error. Okay, at that point of time, and a lot of things have changed in the last 3 to 4 years, especially. A lot of things have changed, especially in the running space, in terms of how we approach running, be it nutrition or be it training plans, so on and so forth. So through these years of coaching and running, I've realized that yes, technical aspect is extremely, extremely important, which everyone knows, because without a proper plan or a structure, you cannot get where you want to get to. But I also believe that we are human beings. We need that emotional intelligence to understand the people that we work with, and also empathize with people, because as a community we have people from various backgrounds, right? Different motivational issues, or different reasons why they do what they do. So now that is where I am. More than a running coach, I call myself. I don't know how to put it. I mean, running coach. Okay, it sounds very technical. I'm at a place where I'm trying to understand people more. I'm trying to understand human psychology more, so that I can deliver better on all fronts. So that's where I am now.
Nice. The thing is, with you have a journey in endurance sport that that kind of is a bit inspirational, in terms of you were dealing with a lot of weight issues. You were over 100 kilos.
120, 121, 122. That's where the weighing scale scored.
Yeah. So you had, you were dealing with that. You were dealing with, mental, depression kind of issues and all that. And you used running and endurance as to get through that, right? And that itself is quite inspirational. But to add to that, you are now in a space where you are mentoring a lot of people. You are guiding, and as a coach, as a running coach, with runners
360.
Runners 360. It's quite a journey, right? So from your experience, what is what makes a good coach?
That's a very difficult question. I don't think nobody can call themselves a good coach. Like, though I'm training people, you go ask, 20% will say no, it's not a good coach. All right. So there's a good coach or a bad coach, but I always feel that a coach is constantly evolving, as long as when somebody comes with a specific target, all right, I can make them achieve, but in the process I can make them miserable. All right. I can make put them through a training program that's crazy, that can lead to depression, anxiety, and still achieve the target. All right. And there'll be other people where we may not achieve the target, but at the same time they'll be a lot more happier. They would enjoy the journey. They will learn a lot more about themselves or the sport. So good coach, or I wouldn't say bad coach, but a good coach is a very it's very difficult to put it across. But according to me, the kind of coach that I want to be is first is my ability to understand the individual. That's the first thing. You need to understand the person, all right? Where he's coming from, why is he doing what he's doing, and where he wants to go. Okay. So once you understand this, and then you fit the plan into the person. You don't do the other way around. You don't bring a plan and then fit the person into the plan. All right. I mean, just to say in words, a good coach, according to me, is who can fit a plan into an individual and make it happen.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Like you said, there is. It is very hard to define what a good coach is, because it depends on from person to person, right? So I might be a right fit for a few kind of people, but I might be a misfit as a coach for certain type of people. In terms of what they need, in terms of interaction or something that I might be lacking, or it can happen. It's not like 100% we would be good for everyone, right? So that aspect is also there. The personalities of both the trainees and coaches come into the picture, because it is not just about giving a plan, like you said, right? So that is there. So now you have been coaching for say how many years?
Close to 7 years now. 2015 was my first coaching assignment, and now 2022 we are in. It's about 7 years.
So I've been as well, like it's been I started in 2016 officially, but I've started kind of mentoring from 15. So we have a bit of a parallel
coaching career, career if you may call it so.
Correct. But you have gone through with running, and also the gist of taking it full time, unlike me. You have worked with a lot more people. In your experience so far, what are the things that you observe that they need help with most?
Like I said, even now I was thinking in the morning, what kind of people I want to work with. I'll just tell you. So to give a background, I'll just tell you how this thing of coaching came into my mind. So right from childhood, I was being bullied, and I wasn't a great student. So I thought this education, this desk job and all is not for me. I want to do something physically. Sorry. Because that is where I can bring my best out. So I'm a person where I get a lot of joy in physical activities. But there was no, opportunity, because I was not fit. But I always had the energy. And then all this happened, then I lost weight, then I was working in an IT company, and then I got to travel a little bit. And then, while I was doing all this, I also discovered running, and I lost that weight and so on and so forth. But I always wanted to do something full-time with regard to running. I'm too old to go back and say, I'll go to Olympics. Nobody will pay you for running. I was just thinking, will anybody sponsor me? Will anybody pay me a lakh if I run for them? I was getting all these ideas. Why wouldn't? Because I was reading a lot about athletes in the US, recreation athletes like Dean Karnazes. Dean Karnazes left his job, and then he got sponsors. He did a lot of races across America. Then he did a lot of these these running, this Fit America kind of run, so on and so forth, where he got a lot of corporates supporting him. So he made a lot of money through that. I thought, can I do that? But I'm not so fit to run across India. They'll call me a madman, right? Even now, if you keep running, they'll call me a madman. In India, definitely still nobody will pay you to go and run, especially a recreation runner. And that's when I realized, coaching is the way. But I didn't know how to start. And in 2013, I was, I was outside the country on work for a few months. And there I worked with, triathlete. He was... He's like a 845 Kona kind of a guy, very, very, pro triathlete. And I used to train with him for 3 days. Not because, I'll improve something, but I just wanted to know how he used to conduct with people. How was his training? Because 2013, I would be about what? Just 25, 26 years, very young. And I mean, someone in 25s who does not have great numbers or great performances, nobody will even hire you as a coach, all right? And so I was observing him a lot, how is he training people, because different kinds of people used to come. So I always used to observe him and so on and so forth. Then I came back, and then 2013 itself, we wanted to start something. But then things didn't work out. And then I had to wait till 2015. Like I said, if you want something for a long time, God will conspire to give you, if you want it for a long time. So this started, somewhere a few years ago. And I had a... bike accident, motorbike accident. and I fell off the bike. And I was wondering, I was lying on the bed and I was asking myself, what if that day something had happened to me? Did I love my people to the fullest, and did I live my life to the fullest? All right, those are two things. Did I live my passion, and did I love the people that I always wanted to be with? Okay, so that was basically family and friends, and then life is all about, again, adventure, running. So both were okay, because there was not 100% into this. Okay, work was there, but it was there. I was not really passionate about my job. Family was there. You're spending 12 hours at your workspace. You're not able to spend a lot of time with your family. So that 1 month on the bed started giving me a lot of ideas. And that's when I got an opportunity to go to Isha Foundation in Coimbatore. So Isha Foundation, they have the monks there. The monks, both the female and the male monks, where they run the key races to raise funds for Ishavidya. Okay, so, and again, that is some good karma that came by. It's very interesting. So I believe a lot in good karma. Okay, and earlier that year, in April, so we had done some fundraising for Ishavidya. We cycled from Bangalore, Coimbatore, about, and raised some 40,000 rupees so that, 4 kids' education is taken care of. Then that was it. And they had made a small little documentary so that they could use that to inspire other people to raise funds for Ishavidya. And so that good karma came by here, and they said, why don't you come down, and since you're into running, and why don't you come and do like a 3-day workshop kind of a thing. So it was beautiful, in the mountains, you're working there with the monks, and I was like, okay, it's a different culture there, right? You have to revere people. There's a lot of respect. And I'm generally, I'm pretty extrovert, all right. So I'm pretty loud. I talk a lot, and then suddenly you have to go. It's a very quiet culture, and then you have to respect everyone. So, and then that's the first thing that you realize is, okay, coaching means it's not about you. It's about addressing the audience. When you go, it's not about you. It's how you can reach out the audience. Okay, you can be whatever you want, but if you can't relate to people, there's no point doing it, right? So that was my first lesson there. So we worked for 3 days, and then I came back and was still thinking what to do. That was the assignment was over. Again, next a few months, again Isha Foundation came back and they said, can you do something in Bangalore like this, because there were a lot of volunteers. And I said, okay, this is it. This was in 2016. We started training 3 months. I used to wake up in the morning. I said, God has given me this opportunity. Of course, no money. Okay, 3 months. I'll go and coach people. 40 people, 50 people used to come, few days in a week. And then, I thought, fantastic. I said, even if one person, if I can convince them to pay 1,000 rupees, I'll make 50 grand and it's all right. So I said, okay. With that, I took a sabbatical. I said 6 months, non-paid sabbatical. But after the 3 months of that, the program got over. Then I said, okay, it's all done. You run your races, the race is done. Then whoever wants to join, this is the fees. And tomorrow morning we'll meet. And some 2 or 3 people came.
So from 40, 50 people.
50 people, I'm taking sabbatical. Okay. And at home, everybody's like, what the hell are you doing? You quit a job. And my father-in-law was like shocked, because, we come from a very conservative background. And they thought, this guy who is working in MNC, he will get married. My daughter will go to US. That's how the kind of thing, people think, and not to blame them. That's how the culture is, right? And then here I am talking about running coaching and you're going to get money. Are you making any sense? But I'm really thankful for them because they never resisted. They said, okay, you do what you want. And I started living I was living a very minimalistic life because I know I could not afford many things. So we stopped eating outside. I was walking to a metro station. I was taking metros. I didn't shop anything for myself. There were days where I just ate one meal because I know I was not earning money. And I felt somewhat, I should only live very minimalistic. But somehow that turning up for the 2 people, 3 people, I was never demotivated. I said, we will do something. All right, you keep turning up, right? And someday something will click. So, and I always felt, okay, if God has created me an opportunity to coaching and sending 2 people, that itself is a big thing. Who knows, what will this turn out into? So, and from every person I was learning something. The 2 people who came, one was like a 30-year-old, one is a 40-year-old, one is a 60-year-old. See, in amateurs, like my friend said, you go to Kipchoge's camp, everybody has same talent, everybody is the same age, everybody is the same food. When you come here, okay, you have to talk to a 20-year-old, he comes from a different background. Then there is a 40-year-old, he comes from a different background. There's a 60-year-old, they come from a different background, and everybody want to be treated the same. That's the first thing I realized. You have to give them dignity, no matter where they come from, what they do, and what are their goals. Everybody's the same. That's the first thing I've realized. You have to treat everyone the same. There is no. That's why in our group there is no elite, sub-elite, amateur. I say everyone are recreational runners, including me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even I'm a recreational runner. Yeah. So I said, whatever you are doing is only for your own good, and we're not going to compare. So that was the second thing I realized. No comparison. Respect everyone, no comparison, and remember that everyone is unique. So even now, these are the three parameters I work on. And for me, you run a 38-minute 10K. It's not that you're paying me in gold coins. All right. Generally, for example, and just because somebody is running 100 minutes 10K, it's not that they're giving me copper coins. Everybody is giving the same money, and everybody needs the same amount of time, effort, and ultimately, like I always keep telling, treat them as your own. Treat them like how you want to be treated. No matter what you are, who you do, they don't care about it. So, and that's how I started, and that was my biggest learning, because until then, you just working in IT, you just have this, okay, okay, I'm in this, this is my career growth. I have to attend this email, so on and so forth. I have my boss, I have my subordinates, I have my colleagues. You have the set pattern. Here, there is no set pattern. And that is when, all the things that I was thinking in theory, universe is one big family, and then all inclusiveness and everything. But when I started seeing people, then that's when I realized, everybody have got the problems, everybody have got the challenges, and you need to, understand that, empathize with that, and appreciate the opportunities that you've got, and see how you can share those learnings. And then I realized now, I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I can connect to anyone. Like I can sit with you, I can still feel, when we're having lunch, we're talking, you're saying some things that we've gone through in life, right? I could feel that empathy,
Right.
And then I also realized, then somewhere at the background, I also read about you, something flashed by,
Right.
what you've gone through and all that. So now I can connect to people a lot more, because without that connection, I don't think, in the long run, yes, you may succeed in terms of numbers, you may succeed in terms of making revenue, so on and so forth, but the satisfaction will be not there. Like today we can definitely scale up to, like, we can have 1,000 people, but I know I cannot empathize with 1,000 people. So I coach currently about 200 odd people, but I know every person, what they're doing, what they've done this morning, who needs help, who needs a little more hand holding. So yeah, that's the biggest key takeaway. Understand everyone is unique, understand that uniqueness in them, and help them find that unique potential and fulfill it.
Yeah. No,
I know it's a very long answer, but I have to tell many things.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely. It definitely makes sense. When we started, we learned a lot of things from just trying, right? But now the situation is quite different, right? So I see many people who are there, who are into coaching. Some of my friends say that there are more coaches than
Trainees now. Yeah.
There are more coaches than trainees now. How do you look at this situation now, right now?
I mean, it's great, isn't it? Like I said, in India, there is still that huge space for coaches to come in. Okay. Now there's a difference between a trainer and a coach. Okay, an instructor and a trainer and a coach. There's a big difference. Coach is someone who looks into all the aspects that we spoke about, and it took me a long time to get a coach for myself. I have my coach. His name is Soumya Rauth. You also know him. So it took me years to find a coach. And we've been working together for now 4 years now. And not only that, the running space is growing exponentially in India. It is really, really exponential. Especially after the pandemic, right? A lot of people, because when the gyms were closed and people got in running, and you look at the kind of events, that's coming up. Every weekend there's an event, okay? And running is also becoming kind of an experiential kind of a thing. People go to Ladakh, people go to Berlin, they go to Chicago, they go to London, and everybody's serious about it. And now they've realized that, they need some kind of a guidance, okay? So definitely there's a lot of scope for coaching here, okay? So what kind of coach one wants to become, it's up to them.
Right.
Okay. And I feel there's space for everyone. Today I keep telling everyone, I encourage people to become coaches.
Right.
All right. I said, yeah, if you have it in you, if you have good experience over the years, and if you have a transformation journey, a couple of certifications just to know the technical aspects, because I always feel you need to upgrade, learn and all that. And if you're really passionate, and if you really have this, what do you call it, a servant leadership kind of attitude, definitely, people can succeed. But on contrary to what your friend said, I think we need a lot more coaches now. And believe me, people are looking more at personalization. Now, somebody comes to me, they said, today's money is not a problem. They said, I get a lot of requests like that. We can pay session wise. Give me a program where everything needs to be customized. I don't want to be get a generic plan. I want to work one-on-one with you. That market is really improving. And where are the coaches? You tell me 10 running coaches in Bangalore. Give me 10 names.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Give me 6 names. I'm telling you, it's very difficult. You ask me 10 names, it's very difficult. I can only tell you 6-7 names. You tell me in India, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, maybe 12, 13, 15 max.
There is definitely scope for
huge.
more.
Huge.
That is true in the sense he was only half joking, but I completely agree with you. Right, there is a space for everyone. When we started, there are hardly any. Right.
Yeah.
Now there are a few more, but it is still only a handful. Right, but it's not just about being able to give a plan, but it is much more than that. Right, taking a plan, it is free.
It's free. Yeah.
You dime a dozen. It's not even a dime.
Dime.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have access to internet. There are tons of free plans out there. But what do you think beyond plan? Okay, what are the things that a coach offers beyond just planning?
I tell the people I work with, your coaching starts where the training plan ends. Okay, so the Sunday and the Monday, it's easy. We have a very simple format where I just have this Google Sheets. It's very easy to handle. And I've tried many apps. It's not worked. It's too complicated. Today, Strava is the most easiest thing. And you don't need... For runners, you don't need much data. All right, so I just have 4 or 5 parameters of data which Strava and Garmin gives me, and that is all I look into. And Google Sheets is very easy. It just takes a few minutes to update it. But then after you send the plan, until next Sunday, my heart will be beating. How is that person done? Until the next call that we have. Is he able to do it? Sometimes you won't believe, I get even, a little bit of, anxiety when somebody calls and they said, I was not able to do it. Then I asked them, how was the week, and, how are you mentally, generally you try to understand that person. So training plan is a very, very small part. The people I work with, they know more than me. They come and ask me, why aren't you giving me intervals? Why aren't you giving me a tempo run? I want to do this event. Okay, I want to eat this, gel. Everybody knows everything. Everybody's well informed today, right? So everybody knows that. But now, after delivering that plan that day, okay, now, like I said, everyone is first. That's why, it's a working and then athlete.
Right.
Okay. Now somebody would have, you basically plan from a Monday to a Sunday. Okay. You have this Tuesday speed workout. Okay. And then you have a Thursday, another kind of a run. And then Saturday, somebody could have probably not been able to execute the speed workout. Now the challenge is how to make the Thursday and the Saturday run still happen. At the same time, ensure that they're not low. For example, if somebody doesn't do a Tuesday speed workout, they come and ask me, okay, I missed this workout, I have this event and so on and so forth, and still talk to them and tell them it's all right, and go back and customize the Thursday and the Friday and the Saturday workout, and then still make it happen. So coaching is a 365 24-hour job, believe me. Okay, but I'm by the time I finish, WhatsApp is cleared. By the time I wake up, there'll be other 30 chats with many things. Like, for example, today it was raining. Okay, so we had a plan of, when we put out the list, about 40 people wanted to come and join. Okay, so and it was raining. People didn't know. By the time I woke up and saw there's already messages: should I come? Should I not come? What to do? And you have to be on the go. Right. So that's why I said, once you send out the training plan, it's the easiest. Okay, till the next Sunday, you're always on the go, and it's beautiful. I'm not complaining, because this is something that I generally like doing. In fact, when I was working, in my previous job, I used to take a lot more holidays. Now there are no holidays. Today is the busiest day. Saturday and Sunday is the busiest day. So my day off is on a Thursday. Usually Thursday is something I take, like it's a But still, you just see whatever's backlog, whoever needs more time, you pick them up and so on, and then follow up. So training plan is the smallest thing. Okay, I don't have to read data. Okay, people read data. They ask me, people come and ask me, you're not giving me enough technical feedback. I said, it's okay. Relax, all right. We'll go back and see, because you already know it. You open Strava will show this month you did this month you did that. I say my VO2 max
all
was
the
here.
splits
Yeah,
and
everything.
all that.
I said, today anybody can do that, right? But then how to what do you say, hold people together, all right? How to hold people together when they're down, all right, and when they go up, and how to keep them grounded. And not only that, some people, even for a year or 2 years, they don't see any improvements, right? And then your mind needs to keep twitching. Okay, sometimes I speak to someone, and I say, hey, great trace, they rave about me. And next call is like, no, this is not happening, so on and so forth, this happens. So the key thing for anyone, for any coach, I would say, maintain equanimity. Don't get carried away when somebody is doing well. When somebody goes well, don't demean yourself, all right? Things will get better. Stay calm. So that is where I try to act from, The rest all is very, it's out there.
Right. Yeah, so one of the things that I also notice is it's not just about the plan. Plan is important. What to do, when, and all that is important. But that you can, most of the people can figure it out, right? Because you take something that is available out there on the net, and you tweak it. You can tweak it to your lifestyle, and you can try to make it work. But when it comes to beyond the training plan, like what to do when things change, right, in your life, it can be injuries, it can be work pressures, it can be other stresses in life. It's like life happens, right?
Yeah.
Just because you have a marathon planned and you have a training, life doesn't stand still and let you train
for it,
right?
Yeah.
So life happens, and you kind of have to evolve and evolve your training plan, everything around that. So that is also what something that I try to bring for my cycling coaching and stuff. So some of the things that I think we also talked about in our first podcast about motivation and stuff, right? So how do you deal with people who say that I lost motivation or something?
See, it happens to everyone. It happens to me as well.
Yeah.
To be very upfront, especially COVID has hit a lot of people. Okay, in many ways. I know people who've taken 6 months, 8 months. They've been at the peak of their athletic fitness, and then something goes down. And I know people who have to, I really emotional thing about many people, who have to run a marathon and something happens, they have to drop out. And there's always a lot of this, coming into my, into my head, and then, it impacts me as well. And because I know the kind of effort they put in, people have amazing stories. I'm really proud of the people that I coach with, And you have to forget my story. You have to listen to every story. So basically, just before I go ahead, before I share a timing, I always, in our group, I share the story. Who that person, why this timing is important. That's why I said everyone, unless you know the journey, the story, we have this habit, we do not make, publicly listing of the timings. Because, okay, you'll see Bikey Winky, okay, 32 minutes, 10K. And then you'll see probably someone else. Okay, the last one, 100 minutes, 10K. But the 100 minutes, 10K person would have put in a lot more effort, resources, willpower, discipline, dedication, more than you. But what the crowd will see you? They'll only see, oh, Bikey Venki, 32 minutes as inspiration. But the last person who has
32 minutes, 5K.
Okay. All right, for example, right?
No,
wow,
no,
let's say you're the legend and all that, Generally, I'm saying. But in fact, the person who did the 100 minutes 10K needs more push, needs more kind of words, needs more notice. So until unless you tell that story and why they're doing and where they come from, it doesn't strike me. You come and tell me your timing and say, okay, congratulations, great job. That's about it. But if I know you and well, I'll say, hey, that's great. You've been through a lot. It's phenomenal how you overcame that. Can you share? How did this happen? And I will take really inspiration from you. All right. Numbers are just numbers.
Yeah.
All right. You can be the richest person in the world, and if you're depressed, you'll never be an inspiration.
Yeah.
All right. But even if you are not. If you're still there and if you can genuinely smile at me, I was like, yeah, this guy is great, he's still smiling, genuinely happy, And for me, nothing inspires than happiness. For me, contentment, fulfillment and happiness. This is what I look into a person rather than, the frills, what we call. Okay. So, yeah, and definitely, I when I wake up in the morning, I have this thing. Okay, who am I today? Okay, my first obligation is towards my family, and then second, who am I? I tell myself first, I'm an athlete. Then I'm a student. I have a coach, and then I'm a coach. So that is what I have. I have motivation issues. It's not that because I ran Hyderabad Marathon. After that, I came back. I had flu for 3 weeks, and I was struggling. And then, I was talking to my coach, and I was very low. I was really, really low. And I keep running into these issues, a few times here and there, because when you run a marathon, you're on a high.
Yeah.
In a marathon, you're on a big high, and then suddenly you nosedive. You go deep down, then start questioning many things, and then running is a very painful sport. Today you are great, and tomorrow. What the hell happened to me? Am I the same person? Why is this happening to me? You might put the greatest efforts, you may not get the results. Sometimes you may just give half-hearted results and then things can happen. So these things keep happening. So motivational issues will be there with everyone. Okay, because why? People sometimes do generally ask themselves, okay, I'm paying for this, all right, still there's a lot of pain, and they wake up at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. But that is why what I do is I believe in interpersonal relationship. So somebody was saying, we can really, really grow. I said, no. For every person, I keep 15 to 30 minutes slot a week where I can call up and ask, how are you? How's your mindset? What is going through? And like I said, if somebody, needs more help, I park them up for my free day where I can spend that half an hour, 45 minutes, so that I can speak and, help them, bring them up because they believed in me. All right? They believed in me. And when people give you money, they're giving a part of your life because they put in that effort, away from family and away from anything to go earn that money. And more than that, they believe in your bodies. I said, take your heart rate to 200, they will take.
Right.
Go ask, they listen to a coach more than a doctor now.
Yeah.
They go to a doctor, they'll say, oh, this, you should do this, they go with them, including me, right?
Yeah.
But with a coach, people believe blindly.
Right.
All right. So once they come into agreement, it's a beautiful relationship. It's very difficult to explain. So, and yes, it is, it's not a duty, it's my privilege to help people stay motivated, keep them on the toes, keep them excited, and also, be there for them when they're going through a little bit of lull time and tell them it's all right. That is how life is. And we learn a lot about, life as well, through the sport. Sport is a lot like life.
Yeah.
All right. That is why if you see sports people are more respected than anyone else across the world, right? Because when you look at a game, it always keeps on the edge because a game happens, many things that happen in a game. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like, who you are, where you come from, when you wear the shoes, everyone have their own demons to fight with.
Right.
You may be whoever you want in life.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was coaching, one fine gentleman, and he's the who's of a who. All right. For the outer world is like probably the greatest thing ever. For a lot of us. But then I asked him, I said, what? He says he has motivation issues. Like definitely everyone will have motivation issues.
Yeah.
It is a given. Like I said, the moment you give a training plan, that is where your job starts.
Yeah.
All right. So make peace with it.
Mm-hmm. No, that is very, very, very true. Rings very true, because one of the reasons behind starting this podcast was the fact that over the years, last 12, 13 years of my endurance journey, I've always gone through that ups and downs of, lacking motivation, gaining weight, again finding motivation and trying to lose weight and all that, right? So it is just not linear. No one's journey is linear, right? It will go through ups and downs. if it is a straight line, you are going to go to sleep even when you are driving,
autopilot,
right? It becomes boring. So it is always going to be, there are always going to be some challenges. It is how you deal with them, how you become aware and see them in the light that helps you.
True.
Right? There are always multiple ways of looking at a situation, right? So it can be, you can, you say half full, glass half full or half empty, but there are more than those two perspectives. And how you see a situation and how you react to it makes a huge difference.
True. Yeah.
And I think as coaches, our job would be where to help them with looking at, taking a perspective that is helpful for them.
True.
Because they're not everyone all the time can have all the perspectives. They will be looking at it from one perspective or maybe two perspectives, but and that perspective is probably not helping them with the current situation. So what can we do as coaches? Probably look at it from a different perspective that is more helpful for them and help them see that perspective.
True. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Through those interactions. I think that that is where like you said, it is a privilege.
Yeah.
The situation we are in, it's really a privilege, to be able to they are sharing their innermost fears with us. They are sharing their personal life with us. Their what their thought processes while suffering with us. They probably don't even share it with their doctors and psychologists for that matter, right?
Yeah.
So we are in a very privileged situation if we are able to help them with that perspective, right? I think that becomes a really great thing. For, like you said, always coming back to that sentence that you said, coaching starts after the training plan is sent out. That is very, very true. And I was just talking to someone this morning, and one of the things that we talked about was, is this something that I can control, right? If not, move on, right?
That's it,
Just focus on things that you can control.
True.
Oh, that thing needs. We need to remember that time and again. Almost maybe put something up as a poster so that you can see every day, right?
You can see every day,
because that is something that we always forget. And probably that is one of the things that I try to bring to the friend. Is this something that you can control, right? Otherwise, no, let's focus just on the controllables, because you are at a race, right? You want to win. But is that really in your control?
Yeah.
Who are all turning up?
True.
Right?
I agree.
What is the things that they have, what is the level they are at?
True.
All those things are not in your control, right?
True. I agree. Yeah.
But what is in your control is what you can do with your training, what you can do with your mental training, and what are the things that you can focus on.
True. Absolutely.
So if you can tick those off, right, you have done your job.
True. Absolutely.
But if you are focusing on that podium, on that win, it is not something that you can really control.
True.
So,
True. I agree. Yeah.
We got here when we are talking about the motivational issues, right? Yeah. That is a given for even the elite of athletes, right? This is something, the mental aspects of it are really something that all of us need to work on. So what are some of the mental side of things that you suggest people?
See, mentally you'll always go through up and down, all right? Again, that's a given. Okay.
Yeah.
Not through the day. I mean, not different day. Even through the day, from morning to evening, go through a lot of you'll have mood swings, you'll have different challenges, mentally, emotionally. You're dealing with different kinds of people in different scenarios, so that's a given. So I really like what Simon Sinek says. There's this book called Start With Why. You just go back. Why are you doing this?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
That's it. You just go back. I ask myself, okay, when there are motivation issues, I go back. Why am I doing this?
Beautiful. Yeah.
If you're strong with your why, all right. If you're definitely strong with your why, even if your motivational levels are low, it is all right. It's okay. I'm not expecting, including myself, to be always high, always pumped up, wake up, eye of the tiger, in the morning you wake up. You can't.
Yeah.
You will definitely be low. I know it's all right. Today is a little low. But I know why am I doing this. I know, today I'm a little low, and let me not react to that low. Do not give, power to the negative voices. That's what I keep telling people. Yes, while coming, I was talking to someone. Something had happened, the person was saying that, only when I'm doing well, only there's an event, this is happening. I said, yeah, I know things happen. But put your energy where you want to go. Forget about what happened today. All right. And you know why you're doing this. And you have a good support system, and we are there for each other. All right, you're there for me, and I believe all my trainees are there for me, and I am there for them. I don't even call them. I call our folks, trainees, because it's something. I don't like the term trainee, because I'm just a very, very ordinary person, came from nowhere, and the kind of people that we deal with, like I said, it's my privilege they're given that opportunity. I mean, we deal with different people who are accomplished in many, many ways. But that doesn't come to limelight because, again, like I said, a sport, you do something physically, the wow factor is always there.
Right.
But in terms of intelligence, effort, and the kind of impact they're doing is a lot more.
True.
So I call them, very, in a very, humble way, Annadata, because ultimately they bring the food to our table, all right?
Oh, yeah.
So there is no, this thing, I say, okay, I surrender to them, all right? Because ultimately, because of them, I'm living my, life. So no matter what, it is, I'm here to serve, all right, and I'm happy to get that opportunity. So, and at the same time, I also need to be honest, authentic, and tell them, because okay, if I'm fully surrendering and just keeping listening to them, then we're not doing justice. So we try to go back to why they're doing what they're doing, and that why should be authentic, and that why should have a personal meaning to it. If you do not have a personal meaning, okay, now there is I'll tell you very upfront, okay, about my own. I always want to do an Ironman. Okay, because there's Ironman rage, this guy did Ironman, let me also, that's why I bought a cycle. Okay, then I was going climbing up Nandi, coming down here, there, I also don't want to do it, because you used to get a lot of fame at some point of time,
Yeah.
I said, let me also do it, And then 2 years I was riding cycle, I was going this pool, that pool and everything, and I got frustrated. I said, arey yaar, this is, not meant for me. Then I asked myself, why am I doing this? No, I never wanted to do that. All right. I never wanted to, because it was too effort intensive and I could not take it. Ironman is a sport where it drains you out. You need that. Really hats off to people who do it. Then I realized, I can't do this. I will just stick to my, that 8 to 10 hours of training in a week, and that's all I can do. And then I said, leave it. Now I'm enjoying cycling. Let me do, cycling, because I used to see a lot of these brevets and everything. Just one 24 hours ride, I said, I cannot do this, because my friends used to say, Super Andor and so on and so forth. I want to flaunt, because I was seeing other people, wow, this looks amazing. And then there was a time they're doing Paris, West Paris, so on and so forth. You also see me cycle some of times. Then I realized I'm not doing this because of myself. I'm doing this because of, what's happening around me. And that is frustrating even more. Okay, I'm trying a lot, it's not happening. And then what do I love the most? I said, running is a sport that I started, and that's where I learned. I said, okay, I'll just come back, and this is my why. This is my motivation. I know very clearly why I'm running. If you ask me to cycle, I don't know why. I'll still come and cycle with you, but I still don't know why. It'll be probably, oh, Bikey Venky is doing this, I'll probably do it. The gear looks awesome, And sometimes I was really obsessed,
Right.
The gear and everything. Man, it looks so cool. The cyclists look so cool.
Yeah.
The platoon looks so cool going. And I also participated in the races. It was really fantastic experience. But then I realized it was not, not meant for me. The triathlon or the long distance cycling or cycling, as a sport was not meant for me. So that realization is very important. Okay, like you just said, right? You tried running, but you still say, cycling is where your drive is coming from, right?
Yeah.
It's not that you can't do a triathlon. You also can do a triathlon, right? You can still run. You can still run. You can do a triathlon. But where's your drive? Where's your love? It's still in cycling, right?
Yeah.
So now. So for me, when you come back to that why, very important, why you're doing what you're doing, the reason should be authentic and you should have a personal meaning to it and you should become something through it. If you ask me what else, what have I become through this sport, I've become a lot more humbler. I've realized that I'm just a small dust in this big universe because the kind of people that we meet. All right. The third thing is, like I said, I mean, the more and more people I interact with, I've realized that, what they say in the scriptures, it's all, we're all the children of God, over a period of time. I'm not saying, today I realize, Venki, you and me are the same, but I can still relate to more people. And in this process, I'm refining myself. All right. So the coaching, I'm not coaching, I'm learning from people. All right. I'm learning. I mean, people are teaching me a lot of things. And believe me, in our group, there are a lot more people who are a lot more committed, willpower they have, because I do this for a full time. And I don't know how would I fare if I did this a full time. I mean, like if I had a job, 10 hours, 12 hours job, and then the kind of stuff they do. So, so coming back to that, so if you have these three things intact, I think despite of high motivation, low motivation, inspiration, so on and so forth, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Those are, like you said, those are non-controllable factors. You just have to let them go.
Correct.
They're fleeting.
Yeah. That is a big thing, identifying that why you are doing what you are doing. For me, that why is, always when I'm going through that low phase, when I go back to that question, it always becomes that, the fact that I was suffering a lot with health issues before, right? So obviously, if I stop doing what I'm doing, I would go back to that situation where I'm suffering with the health issues again. So that always brings me back to my center.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is
it starts from there.
Yeah.
Like you just had an accident, you just say, God, forget everything else, I just want to wake up and ride. It's just a love for the sport.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not even thinking about competition. When you're in the hospital bed, what do you think? God, give me one more opportunity, I want to go back on my bike.
Right.
You have the love I'll just tell this small little story. Okay, there was this I think this very nice story. This Meru, right? This Meru documentary. Have you watched it? This so Meru. Meru is probably one of the most toughest climbs. Okay, that happens. It's a mountain. They say it's even more challenging than the Everest. So there's 4 guys, who want to climb that peak and get there. And then I think the attempt it doesn't happen. Okay, and then something happens, and then I'm not sure during that activity or somewhere else, one of the key guys, has a fall somewhere and he's paralyzed from neck to the entire body. Okay. I was seeing the entire documentary, and then they said he's going to be a vegetable. All right. There's one chiropractor who believed in, but he could still speak, who believed in him, and then he said that he said, I want to go back to the mountain. So in 6 months he goes back and he starts climbing, and I think in a year or 2 or something he climbs back. And then everybody's astonished. How did he recover? All right, he said that the love for the mountains has helped, his recovery a lot more faster. All right.
Yeah.
So I always tell, when you're down, that is when, the sport will test you how much you love it.
Yeah.
All right. If you have the deep love for the sport intact, you will come back to it. Anyhow, if it's not, there's only so much that you can do about it. So you should keep that love for the sport, always in you, no matter what timing you're running or what. So when I, every time I had this accident and all, right, until then I was probably running a 130 half or anything. And I asked God, I just want to run 5 kilometers a day. Just give me that opportunity. I just want to come back because that was the love I had. I tried doing many other, workouts, and I said, this is not happening. I had to go do elliptical, go to the gym. I said, God, just give me that 5 kilometers. And then you build it on it again. If you didn't love the sport, I think, okay, you will just let it go of it. I think it's the same with everyone, right? Even with relationship. Only if you love someone deeply, no matter what they're going through, you'll be with them and you'll do whatever for them. But if you don't love them, you'll just go and let it go off. It's the same thing with the sport.
Yeah.
You don't need motivation to be with your wife, right? Do you need motivation? No. Do you need motivation to be with your kids? No, right? What do you need? You need love.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that becomes that the primary thread that holds everything together.
Everything together, yeah. And it's not easy, especially when you're amateur. It's not easy. There'll be working days of 16 hours, 18 hours, right? So, and people can feel that, okay, this sport is what do you say, taking a lot more time, so on and so forth. But at the same time, if you can always, take a step back and say, okay, maybe not this season, I'll do some other season, but I'll still keep the sport going. Because I know a few people say, this is my busy schedule, I can't do this, so on and so forth. I keep calling them, it's all right. Because a few people have run a few events, but they could not do because a lot of workload took. I said them, it's all right. We'll just do 5Ks, love the sport. You know what? In 2 weeks they come back and say it's all right. I'll find time. I'm just liking this. I want that.
Yeah.
I say somebody who's running a half marathon, you make him run 5K. He says no. I'll still go to do the event. So you just have to make them realize, keep that. I mean, other way would be like it's all right. You take a break and come. Then that will go into another kind of a spindle, and then they may even eventually lose interest.
Right.
But if you can just keep them in that sport and show that what it means to wake up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock and go for half an hour, get your heart rate to 150, 160, breathe a lot more, feel that air, feel that sweat coming out, good enough.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, I'll be back at it.
Yeah, absolutely. That is very interesting. All of us go through these busy phases where we have to focus on something beyond the sport, be it the marathon that you are training or the half marathon that you are training, or that race, that very important race, important in your perspective, right? That you are training for, but you have something else coming in, right? You might have switched your jobs recently, and you have to focus on establishing yourself again. So all these things come in. It is then that you have to see what is the minimum you can do.
True. What is the minimum you can do?
Yeah, right. You have to. You cannot tell yourself, okay, I'll still do this and also do this.
You can't, yeah.
You can't keep so many balls in the air, right?
True.
All the time. You have to juggling. You have to have some in the hand and keep some in the air.
Yeah.
So those are the things that the prioritization comes in.
See, that is where I think a coach also comes into a key picture. So for me, when somebody comes and says, I want to train for a full marathon, I ask, all right, it's fantastic. This is a time that you're going to take. Go check with your family, because you're going to come at 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning. By the time you finish and go, it's going to be 10 o'clock, and you'll be tired.
Right.
All right, and you'll want rest. You'll want more pep up, and then by no time it's already Sunday. So first go buy that time. Second thing is, know which part of the year you're going to work more. Okay, now if you're really tired, your decision making also will be really poor. Okay, so I tell people, pick up the goal of your life in a season where you buy in that family time, all right, you buy in that work time and give all out. You can't be up all the time. You can't say, I want to run a marathon every 3 months. So I try to help people to be realistic in every front. Then after you achieve that, go easy. You do 5Ks, 10Ks, do some races here and there, do some social running, and that will always, keep you more excited. What's going to happen? Yes, I have the 16-week training plan. It'll keep you excited. But after that, you'll again take a step back, relax. But at the same time, it's important to be in the sport, like what you said.
Exactly.
The 3K jog or the 5K jog that you're doing, you still come and be a part of the group. You need not have a goal all the time. You also have life.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You can't say, okay, I did this, I did that. So I usually tell people to pick one good goal in a year. So usually the races are placed in such a way that, a lot of people say, I have a 10K goal, I have a half marathon goal, and I have a full marathon goal. I go tell them, Kipchoge has got only marathon goal. Okay, Mo Farah has only got 5,000 meters goal. Usain Bolt has only 100 meters goal. Okay, you're having too many goals. Serious, amateurs have more goals.
Yeah.
All right, and then suddenly goal will change. That guy was being this. I said, Kipchoge is only focusing on himself. He doesn't talk about Bekele. Right, I said that is why I don't call people amateur runners, because let's not behave amateurish. Right. Let's behave like how we would behave at home space, at workspace, and so on and so forth. So it's again, running, as much as a science it is. The science is easy. It's an art. All right, it's too much of an art.
Right.
About how to see things in different scenarios of life, and then form a perspective. But at the same time, my friend was saying, my friend he said my family he was giving big lecture and all. Okay, I said oh, all right, okay. Then after 3 days he's mentioning, I can't take this anymore, I want to come back to running, there should be some madness in life. Then I told him, yeah, there should be some madness in life, but don't become mad about it.
Yeah.
You should have some madness in life, you should have some craze in life or something, but you shouldn't become crazy about it that you lose perspective about other things.
Yeah.
Right? So if you look at a lot of high performers, right, you look at Roger Federer, right, it was not him.
Yeah.
His wife had to make sacrifice of a career. All right, like when he cried, he thanked his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, he thanked his mother. And then his father and the children, and of course for them, financial, it's career,
Yeah.
right? And there's a lot of money at stake, and now we can enjoy that money. But for you're spending money here, you're not getting back the money. So the buyout of a family time, your work time is that much more. So you need to find that balance. So it's a lot of trade-off. Okay, and I think that's the one of the key ways to be in the sport for long. Where your goals are also not too aggressive. It's a little more conservative. Now let's say if you're cycling 100k in, let's say, 3 hours, okay, you can definitely do a 245 next year. All right, after that, what will you do? 230, and then. Now, what if I say, okay, we'll do, 245 will take a lot more effort, right? It'll take a lot more effort. Now, can we find out, the sweet spot where at the same effort that you did that, 100k in 3 hours, can you do it at 255 next year? Same effort. And then can we make it 250? By that time, I'm extending your improvement gradually. And that will keep you more excited. But if you have nothing to do, what will you do then? Then I'll say, I don't need a coach.
Right.
Then you will start, doing Super Andor, and then that also will finish. Then you'll be wondering what to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That is important. Having that, that perspective shifts of perspective, prioritizing different things at different times, and staying in the game is more important than
being in the game. Yeah.
Being in the game is more important than doing those big flourishing achievements, right? At the end of the day, what is more important? You are working, and that work is what is allowing for you to do other stuff. Yeah. So that is something that we kind of lose focus on from time to time. Right.
True.
We tend to fixate on stuff that are more fun, and of course the other stuff is not so much fun. So you kind of neglect it. Then you end up in a bit of a soup, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
That is also.
See, what are you? You're not just and in fact, sports people spend a lot more time. I keep telling, what is Kipchoge doing? He's going to take a month off.
No.
When you're at the peak, when did you take a month off? No, you want to go to, including me, on the peak, let me get this race. That is why I say, elites, what is the difference between elite and amateur? It's a thinking.
Yeah.
That's why I say, as a running, you can be a recreational, but as a thinking, you can think like an elite. All right. So when was the last time when you're at the peak and set a world record, you took a break?
Yeah.
You didn't know. You will say, no, let me see if I can get more comms on my Strava, or let me see if I can break some segments. That is how we think, right?
Yeah.
So why I said this was because we need life. You have to be complete in everything. Ultimately, human being is many aspects. All right. So without health, fitness, family, finance, any one small thing here and there, there'll be an imbalance. All right. The tranquility or the peace of mind or that will always lack. So when all this, if you're juggling well, like you said, one ball goes up, you have a hand to catch it. You need that.
Yeah.
All right. Like one ball may go a little high. It's all right at some point of life. Some point of life, your family may go high. Your family may, prioritize. Your career may go. But you need to keep juggling among all the 4 balls. You can't drop anything.
Yeah.
So that what do you say? I wouldn't say maturity, but that is a view we would like to approach sport in.
Right.
Correct. And remember, I tell myself, where there's a high, there's always a low.
Yeah. Yeah.
When there's a high, remember, there'll always be a low. This is the nature of life. And higher you go, higher you go. And when you fall, the harder is the fall. It's basic. It's a law of life.
Yes.
That's it, right?
That is
so,
true.
And when you fall harder, coming back up is a little more harder. It's a given. You make a choice. You want to keep going higher and higher, it's fine, but no, somewhere it'll be a fall. Like what's happening to Trump now, right? For example, he had a great high, but he's not able to take it now. And that's why he's going on a rampage, right? Because he couldn't take it, because he was high, because he thought he was everything, and then he didn't expect what happened. It happens to a lot of, people who cannot really, go to such a high, they're always succeeding, and then when they fail, they can't take it. Why is that? I think this is probably Trump's first failure, because he's been very successful in all his life. So that is why he's behaving the way he's behaving. And that can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
All right. So voluntarily take a break, take a step back and say, okay, this is the best for the season. Let me park here. Let me now go back, enjoy a little bit more, fix other things in life, still keep the sport going on, and then come back and then take the bar a little more higher.
Yeah. Having that break will also kind of rekindle your love for the sport, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So otherwise you keep on going, you end up digging a hole for yourself that you might not even get out of. Right? So that is something, because we always have this fear that whatever we will lose all the hard work that we have done so far if we take a break. That is a perspective that all of us, that fear that we all of us,
the fear, lack of confidence in the training.
So that is something that we have to realize that we are needed to take that. Our bodies need that break. Right? So that they can come back and much stronger.
That low was a little frustrated, because I did reasonably decent, according to my standards in Hyderabad Marathon. I want to ride on that high. Because last year after COVID, I've been little struggling to find that flow that I always wanted in a marathon. And that's why I spoke about this high, right? And then I had this, bad bout of viral for about 3-4 weeks. And my coach said, it's a blessing in disguise. He said, let the body heal. When was the last time you took a break? I also need that, okay? Let it heal, let it overcome. I said, it's all right. Then I realized, okay, there are many other niggles which I always want to take a break. Then slowly I see them sorting it out. So, if you trust your training and if you're confident about yourself, you'll definitely take a break when needed. When you're not confident about your training, when you're not confident about yourself, overdoing things come from a place of insecurity, fear, anxiety, and a lack of trust in the process. But if you are secure about the process, if you believe in the process, if you believe in the self, about how you've gone about things, you will definitely take a step back and say, this is fine. So that will take some time. All right, that is where a coach comes into the picture. Okay, no matter how, for me, it's very easy to tell to people. I also go the same thing. That is why I have a coach.
Exactly.
Right? Everybody needs that external perspective, right? And to bring you back to that center and ground you. So I think I think the community also is heading the right way now. Because a lot of different kinds of people are coming together, and the kind of people who are coming together, like I said, they're very highly successful. They've done wonderful things for themselves and for the society as well. So what is happening for me also when I interact with those people, right? I learn a lot. Like somebody said, okay, this is enough. Give me something that's sustainable. All right. And whenever I want to, push a few people, they said, no. They tell me this is good enough. Then I realize, this guy is right. I just want to improve in this conservative way. Then I told him, if you buy these shoes, you go to that massage or you go to this training, you'll do. He said, see, it's not that can I afford this for the next 5 years? Can I do this? All right. So that comes into picture. All right. He says, give me something that's sustainable. And if I can improve there, that's great. If not, I'm fine. All right? I'm just happy where I am. I'm enjoying the sport and it's great. And I said, that's fantastic. It's a fantastic way to look at things, right? And I think people are definitely moving the right direction. I mean, not just people, the community itself is going in the very right direction and very beautiful direction. The running space is in now.
I think that is true. Very we see a lot of people taking up the sport. The way running has grown over the years is really tremendous. Even with cycling, I see, especially since the pandemic.
There are no cycles to buy.
Exactly. A lot of people had the time during pandemic to, sitting at home, feeling claustrophobic. They wanted to get out and explore the outdoors. And it is great to see, even if 30-40% of them stick to it, it is tremendous.
It's tremendous. Yeah.
I know we are all like we get some stuff, we get those fancy shoes or that fancy bike, and we kind of forget about it after a few months. But even if a small percentage of them stick to it, I think it's great for the sport. And running, the like you were saying, the community is growing and going in the right direction.
That direction,
yeah. In terms of selecting the events, very selective goals, not doing too much, not doing too much too soon. So all this is really important.
Yeah.
If a particular session I am not able to focus, and these thoughts are coming, saying, okay, you are not there today, you too much work, this is for today, and all that. If you are observing and letting it go, letting it pass, and continuing to work, then you'll be fine. But if you react to it, all that it takes is just stop pedaling, right?
True.
That's the end of the thing.
True. So actually, just to add another perspective to it, now this is where preparation comes into picture. Okay, now why do we do a warm-up? Warm-up is not a physical activity alone. A warm-up is getting aligned your mind to it. When we wake up, you just a little bit of a spin. You try to understand where the mind is. Is your mind wavering too much? Is it going too much this side, that side is restless? We need to have a wisdom to take, okay, this is not my day. I will not do something that I cannot concentrate on. Or some people will have definitely that power, where they can really ignore those thoughts and still keep pushing through it. And I'm a person where I do a little bit of warm up and so on and so forth, and then I try to do a little bit of a self talk and just understand where my mind is today. Because when you're doing a speed workout, you have to be on top of it. Like my coach says, previous day says, hey, tomorrow is going to be a hard workout. Be mentally ready. Forget all the phone. You come half an hour before, you do this warm up, get your thoughts together, whatever it is, park everything outside and comes. And then when I go mentally disturbed, I say, I'm not really feeling up for it. I'm not able to concentrate. Something happened or so on and so forth. So I mean, there are two ways to look at it. Yes, there'll be. It's the beauty of life is nothing is black and white. I can't say this or that. But somewhere, we need to have the wisdom to understand how is a mental frame of mind that day. If it is only the mindset, you have to break. If it's a pattern, you need to break it.
Yeah.
Always say, every day you're feeling it, you have to break it.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Okay, now today I go, speed workout. I'm getting intimidated. I have anxiety. Some people, some people generally say that tomorrow is long run. I can't sleep. It's not right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not. It is you now.
Yeah.
It is just your mind. Sometimes it can be something else. All right. But it was happening over and over and over again. I said, boss. Chill now. Okay. It's nothing there. Okay. This is just you. Once, twice. Things happen. But it's the third time. It's your mental makeup. What do you say? Like David Goggins says, he says your mind is the single most powerful weapon in the world. Right? You have to understand it. You have to tame it.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's an ongoing process. All right. That is what I've realized. That's definitely, you won't believe how many times, I would have started a run and I would have what do you say, just
abandoned.
Yeah. Dropped off. In a training run or in an event, last year, something you listened, right? Something generally happens and something is going. In an event, I've dropped off. Like, I'll tell you very upfront, I'm a person who believes it's okay to be vulnerable, all right? I know. You don't have to be, stone cold, to say you're the greatest ever, nothing happens to me.
Yeah.
So last year, something had happened and someone who was popular who had passed away, next year to run a 50K run, and someone who've seen growing up. And next, I was in a shock. All right, and next year was a 50K race. I had trained so well. I had put in kilometers of kilometers. And next morning, I didn't turn up for the race. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. 50 I've trained for it because that mental trauma was there. And then, okay, it's one-off incident. And then after that, we ran. After that, I had to come out of it. It took some while and all that happened. And there was one more virtual run that since the virtual run, we've done 2 virtual runs, and then there's one more that I had signed up for. And I take virtual runs as an event. I don't take it for this thing. And then a couple of my friends were going through a little bit of stuff, and I'd spent time with them. Then again, I realized that I just could not run. My heart rate usually at 45 minutes, it was a full marathon, at 45 minutes 10K, would be still in 140, 150. It was shooting at 175.
Wow.
All right. Then I just saw I was sweating more, because then I realized, okay, this is just not happening. So and then after that I overcame it, and then all that happened, and thankful this happened, and then and then I went to another marathon. I was going great at 27 kilometers. I did not finish. I was going great. I was going for a 302, 305, and I had a DNF, and then in another 2 weeks I had another marathon. So again I had to come back. And I'm so thankful that I'm okay to say I'm vulnerable, and I've always reached out. I've always reached out. I've had my coach. I tell what I'm going through, why I'm happening, and I don't want to say because I'm a coach. A lot of people have this. Oh, I'm a coach. I have to be perfect. I can't show my demons. It happens, but I've been very upfront with my coach. We've had hard discussions, all right. But hard discussion doesn't mean that we end the relationship. Right? Hard discussion should make us stick together. All right. Remember, we don't live in a camp.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when I came and met you here, I don't know what you've gone through till that 1 o'clock that I met, and what I've gone through. All right. So, and I don't know what you will go through when I live here. So, when we live in the same environment, it's easier to handle. You know. So, so why I'm saying this was, you definitely will go through a lot of these challenges. That is why you need that. Like I said, this is where you need a coach.
Yeah.
When you're going through tough times, that is where you need a coach to help you come out of the tough times. And when you're going through great times, you need a coach even more, so that to ensure that you don't what do you say, my coach keeps telling, I tell everyone, he says, treat yourself like a crystal. Once you need to protect yourself. So, and just be upfront, and if you can leave the ego aside, a lot of things are possible.
Like you said, right, it is it's not about just tough, being a tough nut and going through everything and all that, right? So that is not where I am coming from. But like you also mentioned, if that becomes a pattern of giving up becomes a pattern, you have to kind of understand. You have to be honest with yourself as to why it is happening, right? Is it a time to be vulnerable, or is it a time to toughen up?
Exactly.
So that is unless you know yourself and you are being honest with yourself, you won't be able to do it. So that is where, like, maintaining that equanimity and understanding your thoughts kind of come into the picture. Understand, observe yourself, observe your thought pattern of those thoughts, what is affecting which way, and is it helping you? Is it something that you can control, or is it something that controls you? Right?
True. Absolutely. I mean, like Robert Greene, I'm a really big fan of him. He says, we think we are a lot in control in life. Where you're born, to who you're born, with what DNA you're born, what genetics you're born, which school you went to, even which college you went to, first 25 years, even which girl you get married also is not in a control most of the times, especially you're from India, right? Right. He says 98% of your life is not in control. All right. But there's some 2% that's there in control. But he says that if you can extend that 2% to 3%, all right. He says, the leaders in the world are not in control of everything. What makes them different is that the 2%, they make it 5%. Even in their life, 90% is still not in control.
Right.
All right. Biden being the most powerful president currently, the US president is still powerful. He still can't control Putin, right? And that has changed everything. In spite of being so powerful, there are so many things he's still not in control, right? Who am I individually, right? But what are the things? Can I extend the 2% to 3% thing? All right. That can start with as basic as waking up in the morning. They do it in I think the Navy SEALs or something. The first thing is like, cleaning up your bed, brushing your teeth. And the first things, if you can start doing things from there, and then you'll start seeing how, things start following the picture. All right. So you start doing the small things over a period of time. You can't control everything, but if you can marginally improve that 1%, I think many things can still tilt you away over a period of time.
Good. It's been superb discussion.
You can keep going about this. There's no end, right? That's the beauty of this thing, right? You can just keep asking questions. You can keep going. There's no end to it.
Oh, this has been fantastic. We had very long discussion about your journey. Even in our first edition of the podcast. For those who haven't listened, I will add that link in the show notes. Definitely give that a listen or watch, whatever may be, and you will understand the life journey of Shreyas. He's been a good friend and an excellent coach for many. And he all the best for your journey ahead, and I'm looking forward to number 3, 4, 5.
Thanks, Venki. Thanks for having me over. It's always been, one of the things I really admire you in is your selflessness to give to the community, what you're doing. I see you in BBCS races, though in a different sport, but your ability to outreach to people from various aspects of your life, your humility, your calmness, no matter whatever challenges that you've gone in life, there's a lot of calmness that I see in you, which I really, really envy at times. Why can't I have a calmness like Venki? Like you're so calm, and also being a competitive person, to come up and to sit back and see other people win. So kudos to being who you are, and really wish you, another 900 more episodes with different kinds of people so that we can always keep learning, evolving. And then till the time that we are here, we can contribute, learn, and make this our lives better and everybody's life better around us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words, and wish you all the best.
Thanks, Venki.
That was my conversation with Shreyas. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying these podcasts and are finding them useful, please consider supporting the podcast by subscribing to the channel on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. It really helps. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another guest.